Guys, thank you so much for the support. It's been really amazing. I mean, 100,000 subscribers in such a short time, and we're gonna celebrate this with the Q&A just as promised. You had a chance to ask me questions here on YouTube, on Twitter and also Instagram, so let's start. Let's settle this once and for all. I'm using telebroadcast with 12 height and 8 zoom. Favorite skill move, well, you know it by now. Body feint backwards for sure. I didn't choose PS4. PS4 chose me. No, when I was a kid, I had my father gave me PlayStation 2, and ever since then, you know, when I was a kid, I played Spyro, the dragon that spit fire, and also Crash Bandicoot and these games. And you know, ever since then, I was stuck to Sony and PlayStation. I mean, the Japanese, they make some good shit for sure. Favorite taste of ice cream is seagrass. Of course, I'm happy with the icons. I mean, finally we can build the real dream teams in FIFA 18. It's going to be amazing. The Ronaldo, the old Ronaldo, the legend, and many more is going to be. Looking forward. Why argue who is the best? Why just don't enjoy it? We have two absolutely exceptional players playing right now at the same time. I mean, next time this happens, I think maybe it will never happen again to have two players this good playing at the same time. So let's just enjoy it and stop discussing who's the best. Bronze benching, well, the main reason is that you're only allowed to use 3 substitutes, so why have a full goal bench? And usually you know which player you want to substitute, and then you know, many people also believe in the handicap and many don't, but why take the risk? Use your 3 goal substitute and have the rest bronze. Well, it's always very different, but I think in average about 2-3 hours every day. Is it true that you never dabbed? Yeah, it's true. The best way to read your opponent's playing style, well, you have to always memorize how does he move, how did he move with the previous attack, you know, all the time memorize and starting to see patterns in your head, and you know, you have to think a lot. Just like chess, but that's the fun part of FIFA. I actually dropped out of School of Economics to focus full time on FIFA and YouTube, and yeah, when I retire in FIFA, if that ever happens, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm going to be like a gardener or something, a janitor, cleaning toilets, maybe something like a real estate business. The toughest opponents this year, I mean, there are so many good players this year, but I have to say Rosemary and also Manika, 2 amazing players. Yeah, I do. Her name is Moa and we've been together for 6 years. It was a party, she was a hostess, I came there, I was very drunk, and apparently she told me that I was very annoying, but still, you know, she added me the day after on Facebook, so I think I did something right. I always start on defensive and then I move up my position when I feel comfortable, but I prefer and recommend to start on defensive to learn your opponent, and then when you feel comfortable you can move up. I get this question a lot of times: why did you pick a shitty club as Lazio? Because when I was a kid, when I was 7-8 years old, Sven-Göran Eriksson was the coach of Lazio, and they came to Sweden on summer camp every summer in my hometown, which was Varberg back then, and you know, I was mesmerized being 7-8 years old, seeing all of this world stars. And back then Lazio was one of the best clubs. They had Nesta, they had Mihailovic, Salas, Veron, you know, all of these best players. And since then, you know, you simply don't switch club. That's a no-no. You don't switch club, so that's why I'm stuck. Hashtag Harry or hashtag Tass. Well, it's the same thing asking a parent who is your favorite child, you know, it's not possible to answer. Not at the moment, but I played for many years when I was younger in one of the best clubs in Sweden here in my hometown, which is called Elfsborg, and I play with many players that today are big stars. But yeah, some other things came in the way, and after all, I think I'm happy that I'm here today and not on the pitch getting dirty and, you know, getting injured. Man, it's safe here sitting in front of the screen. I love fish. I love white fish with potatoes and olive oil and aceto balsamico. You know, this Mediterranean food is it's the best. It's the best for sure. 5 years ago I quit my job. I was working at Hennes and Mauritius. I did some stupid shit and I said to myself, hey, let's try to follow your dreams and let's try to focus on competitive FIFA. And I did it 5 years ago, and the next year I won the the biggest tournament in my career, which was Las Vegas, the Challenge Series, and won a $40,000. And today I'm here, so I guess it was a good choice. My best advice is to have a clear target and have the will and just practice. So many hours and the result will come, trust me. Well, Spencer wrote to me. He said, alright mate, how you doing? And I saw you doing good in For Champions, do you want to join hashtag? And I said, yeah, I do. Well, pressure is good, because when you're under pressure, you're starting to pump adrenaline, you're starting to get a little bit nervous, which is good because that makes your focus better. So just if you are able to make this pressure and all of this nervousness to a good thing, then you can use it to your advantage. So it's actually not a bad thing. Because it's my job, it's my life, and you know, there are tough moments, but also there are wonderful moments when the gameplay is perfect and there is no delay, it's 5 bars connection, then you really enjoy playing FIFA. 7.5 out of 10 I think. It's too inconsistent still. Because I wanted people to know about the BorasLegend, simply as that. No, because FIFA was only a game for fun back then. I wanted to be a professional football player, but you know, things came in the way, and nowadays, I mean, FIFA is a sport. And if I was a kid and FIFA was this big back then, I think it would be a completely different story. Not at the moment, but usually I play a lot of Fallout and also Last of Us, you know, with the zombies. The multiplayer mode it's a lot of fun. 0. Even if I get really angry, I prefer to not smash my property and my thing. So I can get very angry, but then I start to hit on the pillows or something like that. But I never smash controllers because, you know, it's expensive. Any footballer, I would say, of course, my fellow countryman, the legend, the god, the lion, Ibrahimovic. It was great. I mean, I have a lot of happy memories, but it wasn't easy for my family. We didn't have a lot of money. We came as refugees from the War of Independence in Balkan, and you know, coming as refugees to Sweden, having 3 young children. You know, it wasn't easy for my parents, but they worked hard. After all, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of fun. About 10 to 15 every week in league. That's decent. Before big tournaments, I try to play as many pro versus pro game as possible, because comparing For Champions gameplay, playing against many average players compared to pro versus pro game is a completely different gameplay. And I always, of course, aim to win. So let's hope to do it next time. Yeah, I had it once and then I woke up. The main difference, I think, is the consistency, because a top 100 player, even though he has a bad game, he still somehow managed to pull out of it, having plan B, having plan C. The thing with many players just below this is that when they get stuck, they have problems. I think it's a lot about raising your lowest level. My favorite footballer of all time, I think, is Ronaldo Nazario, the old one, you know, the legend from Brazil. I will never forget when he scored 2 goals in the final, in the World Cup final against Germany, and he had this, you know, this haircut with like a triangle. I was 10 years old and I was mesmerized. Yeah, man, that is a weird question. Of course, I have to say that everyone in Lazio dies. Nah, just kidding. FIFA disappears. Worst FIFA ever, I think for sure, was FIFA 15. It was really bad. The defending was non-existing, and the goalkeepers, they had no legs or arms. Best FIFA for sure, I think, was one of the old FIFAs. I'd say FIFA 13. That was good. That was good times. Okay, let's settle this once and for all. So you only need 3 things: salt water spray, that is the key, just like L2 in the defense, and then you need a cam and a hair dryer. So you start with applying the salt water spray in the hair, like this, and then you take the cam and you start pulling it to the side like this. And it's good if you have a mirror also, so you can see what you're doing. And at the same time, you are starting the hairdryer and put the heat up, because when you combine heat with products like these, you know, the hair gets steady. So, like this. And you can stand And look. And when you feel it's fine, then you can quit. And you can see we need some more here. And we come closely and we fix it with the cam or the comb, call it what you want. And also we can take the sides